What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J Lipsky. So this is a time for you guys just to come in, ask me any questions you have about dropshipping on different marketplaces like eBay, like Facebook Marketplace, and I do my best to answer those questions for you. So welcome. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. We are like a smidge away from 100,000 subscribers, so really appreciate you guys subscribing. And let's get into the chat, and I'll do my best to answer these questions for you. As always, there's a ton of resources down in the description of this video. You can see links to my eBay course, my Facebook course, some free stuff in there as well. So definitely check that out. We'll have about a half hour today to answer any questions you guys have. So let's go for it. Joshua says, hey, Paul, I run into an issue on the AutoDS software to where Fulfilled by AutoDS puts a limit of 30 on the number of orders I can fulfill per day. Do you know a way around this? I actually haven't heard of that. So the AutoDS software is what we use to help us automate our dropshipping stores. So you can set it up so that if you're selling on eBay, like dropshipping on eBay, you can use it so it can list items for you onto eBay. All you have to do is plug in the URL of the item from whatever your supplier is. It will list that item onto eBay, and then it will update the stock level and the price changes if any changes happen on your supplier's website. But it can also do stuff like auto ordering for you, where it will actually automatically order the item for you from some suppliers. So I haven't heard of it putting a limit. You should definitely just reach out to their support and say, hey, how can I get that limit higher? I didn't know about that. So see what they say there. But congrats on getting to the point where you're getting 30 orders per day. All right. Cred says, when doing product research on Zeek Analytics, when you find sellers' items you want to list on Facebook Marketplace, is there a number you won't go above under the competitors column on Zeek where that doesn't matter? Yeah, so what Cred's talking about here is when you're using Zeek Analytics, which is a software that we use for product research, when trying to find items to sell on eBay or even onto Facebook Marketplace, the cool thing is that it breaks down for you when you do a search which items have been selling well from dropshippers. It will tell you like, hey, this item is sold 50 times in the past month. This one is sold, the next one down would sell like 47 times. Then the next one would be like 43 times and 40 times. So it ranks them by the most popular item that it came up with that dropshippers are selling down to the least popular one. But you should look at some other stuff too. Like you can look at the price of the item, and it will also tell you the number of competitors. I don't really focus too much on the number of competitors. There's two reasons for that. One, if you are going to end up selling the exact same item, you can do that, but use a different title. Optimize your title, use different keywords, maybe even put it in a different category that might be a little bit better, or a similar category so that you get sales where other people wouldn't. But the other thing that you can do is you could sell not the same item, but a very similar one. And if you do that, then there's probably going to be no competition or very little competition for that. So that would be another way of doing it without really having to worry about competitors at all. Can you buy old eBay accounts? So you can buy old eBay accounts. So this is something people try to do where there's a few reasons people would want to buy an eBay account from someone else. First, if you're not from the United States and you're looking to set up an eBay account in the United States, it can be hard to do. So it gets a little bit easier if you can just buy an account from someone else who has it. The other reason people might want to buy an old eBay account is because older accounts will have higher limits, meaning you could sell more items, which is another reason people would jump into it, to be able to kind of like sell items, get a lot of more items up for sale a lot quicker. So that's another reason people would want to buy an old eBay account. Or if they are in a position where unfortunately their main eBay account was shut down for whatever reason, then they can buy an old eBay account and get back up and running. So there's many problems with this solution. First of all, if you are buying an old eBay account because you're outside the United States, well, then chances are when you start using it, it's going to get shut down anyway because you're outside the United States. If you buy a new eBay account, an old eBay account because you got banned, well, chances are if you buy the new one, that's going to get linked up with your original eBay account, and that one's going to get banned as well. Better just to try to get your old eBay account back, and then you can start selling on that one again. I would really suggest you just don't go this route. I mean, you don't really know who you're buying them from. It's not allowed to sell an eBay account, so there's not any sort of guarantee that once you have that account, it's going to work or that it's going to continue to work. So I just think it's better to start your own eBay account and build it up from there. All right, what is up? Welcome. Definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So glad you got that message, George. Greg says, and how particular are you with finding exact item matches on Walmart when on Zeek as opposed to similar match? Yeah, so Cred, I think that's what I was talking about before, where when you're doing the product research, whether you're using Zeek Analytics or not, you can either try to sell the exact same product that's selling well or just sell one that's pretty similar. So if you go that route, then obviously it doesn't have to be an exact match at all. And you should definitely be doing both of them because there's obviously if you're selling the exact match, you know that item is popular and selling well. The trade-off there is that there will be some competition. So it is nice to sell a similar product as well or instead. What's up, Bob and Jen from Pittsburgh? Welcome back, guys. Can print on demand be successful like Facebook Marketplace? So print on demand, if you guys aren't familiar with that, it's not something I talk about on this channel. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but print on demand is actually very similar to dropshipping. It's a pretty cool model. So the way it works is you would list up for sale like this is very common on Amazon. Excuse me. It's very common on Amazon. So you would list up a t-shirt on Amazon with a design on it. This is the design that you made, you designed at home, but you don't have these t-shirts in stock. Instead, if someone were to buy that t-shirt, Amazon would actually print your graphic onto that t-shirt and ship it to the customer. So it's being printed on demand. So like dropshipping, this means you don't have to buy all this inventory up front. It's printed on a case-by-case basis whenever someone purchases it from you on Amazon. So it's really cool. I have not gotten into it. I'm not very creative, artistic, I should say. So I don't have any sort of design skills like that. It wouldn't be a good match for me. There are people who are in a similar position like me where they're not very artistic. So what they do is they hire people to make designs for them. But then you already have kind of startup costs involved to something that you don't even know if it's going to work or if the designs are really good. And you don't know if the people you're hiring are reusing designs or not, or using something copyrighted. So it does work if you do all your homework and do it right, but it's not a route that I ever felt comfortable going down, just given my lack of kind of experience and knowledge about art and design and things like that. I wouldn't even know if a design that was given to me that I bought was even good or not. So it's not a good fit for me, but I definitely have friends who are doing really well with print on demand. They sell on Amazon, they do it. They also do it in their own Shopify stores. You can do it on eBay. You can do it on Facebook Marketplace. You can really do it anywhere. So it is a really cool opportunity. And you can be very successful with it. Yeah. Andrew Feely says, it seems more and more Home Depot items can only be returned in store. Is there any workaround to get a label? Yeah, so what Andrew's talking about here is when you purchase items from HomeDepot.com, whether you're purchasing it for yourself or you're purchasing it for a customer that you're drop shipping to. Whenever you make a purchase online, there's always two options to return that according to their website. One, you can just take the item and be like, oh shoot, I didn't want this. This is the wrong thing. You just go to your Home Depot store and return it there. That's option one. Option two is you contact Home Depot. They'll send you a return label and you can then send the item back via like UPS or something. Home Depot would prefer that you do it into the store because that saves them money. But on their website, they say that they allow returns the other way. So if they ever give you a hard time saying, hey, we don't accept returns over UPS, give them some story about how you can't, how there's no Home Depot store near you, you don't have a car or something like that. Just tell them all the stuff to get you a label that you should have every right to because they say that. And I've said to them before, I'm like, look, it says on your website, this is a way that you allow returns. And I would not have purchased this if you didn't have that policy in place. And I've gotten them to send me it that way. So those are kind of your options. You kind of have to either play it, give them like a soft sob story, or just kind of put your foot down and say like, no, this is what it says. This was your policy, and that's the reason I even bought from you. Hey, what's up, Boost of Beauty? Hey, what's up, Minnesota? What's up, everyone? All right. I elaborate a little more. Skyline says, Home Depot hasn't provided any tracking for a couple of my orders. What can be done to get it? One order has been shipped out for more than 4 days and still no updates. So have you reached out to them and asked them for it? It's rare that Home Depot does not give you a tracking number, but it does happen when their system, I guess, when their system is overwhelmed or there's something wrong with their system. So just reach out to them and say like, hey, like I need this tracking number. You said it was delivered. It's not. I need the tracking number. And if I don't get a tracking number, I'll issue a chargeback with my credit card because you have no proof that you actually shipped it out. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit like I'm trying to be a little hard today on these suppliers, but they got to do their part of the bargain, right? They're supposed to give you tracking numbers. They're supposed to let you return stuff. So hold them to that. Say, hey, you're supposed to give me a tracking number. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? But in the meantime, if you don't have that tracking number, what you can do is you can generate one using a service like Blue Care Express or Track Taco. Use like Track Taco, and you can use that. Just upload it so there's something in the system, and then if you get the real one later, just message the customer and say, "Hey, look, I accidentally uploaded the wrong tracking number. Here's the right one. This is the right one." That way, there's no confusion. Odima says, nice show. I have this long time question I wanted to ask. Why can't customers buy directly from suppliers' websites instead of buying from Facebook shops, even when the prices are slightly higher? Thanks. That's a great question. It's a question a lot of people wonder about. I wondered about before I started doing this kind of drop shipping. And the truth is they can purchase the items from the suppliers in many cases. So when you're drop shipping from retail stores like Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, these websites, yeah, the customer can absolutely go and purchase those items for themselves for less from those suppliers. Now, if you're drop shipping from wholesale websites, like a wholesale website, then they can't purchase from the supplier. They can only purchase through you because the wholesale websites don't sell directly to the public. They don't sell retail. They sell to you who sells to the public. So if you go wholesale route, it's not an issue. But for the retail route, yes, they can go shop on these other websites themselves, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. So you kind of have to ask yourself this, right? Most people, well, like I said, a lot of people will shop around. They'll look for a price on one website and check on another website. That's what we think goes on. But increasingly what we're seeing is that people, they get comfortable in one place and they don't shop around. I know I'm very guilty of this. Very guilty of this. I buy most of my stuff that I purchase from Amazon. I just think it's easy. That's where I'm used to shopping. I'll go there and buy something. I won't even look to see if it's on Walmart for cheaper, if I could find it on Facebook Marketplace or eBay for cheaper. I always look on Amazon first and I'll just purchase it from them. So that's partly laziness, but also I think more than that, it's like complacency. It's like I'm used to Amazon. That is where I go. That is what I'm comfortable with. And there are people who do the same thing when they buy things from eBay or from Facebook Marketplace, especially when you get to cheaper items that people will just impulse buy. So they'll see, oh, this is like $10. I'll just buy it. It's not even worth my time to go shop around. They're not thinking that, but in their subconscious, that's what's going on. They're just seeing, oh, it's $10. I'll just purchase it here. Or like $20, $30, whatever. I'll just purchase it here. I want this. It looks cool. I'll just buy it right here. And that's it. They don't even look around for it. Now, let's just assume though. Let's just assume that most people do shop around. Let's say it's like 80% of people do shop around and look for items, compare prices to different websites. That means 20% of people don't do that. 20% doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. When you think about how many people are shopping online, there's literally millions of people using Facebook Marketplace and eBay and all these other sites. 20% is a lot. That is a huge amount of people. And in that scenario, that is a 20% that we'd be focusing on. That is enough. Okay, we have people making a lot of money drop shipping on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, which proves that whatever the percentage is, whether it's 20% or maybe it's probably more that don't shop around, whatever it is enough. It is enough for everyone who's doing this because we see people who are making a lot of money doing this. So whatever the reason is, we know it does work. But that's kind of my take on it. I think it's just a matter of convenience. Jessica says, is your eBay dropshipping course the best one to buy first when you're a beginner, or Amazon or Facebook course? Yeah, I would go with the eBay course. Definitely very beginner friendly, probably the easiest one to get started with. And it's also the cheapest course. So that helps as well. And you can find that, I don't know if the link's in the description. I think it is, but you can also just go to dropshippingtitans.com. All right. Treasures of a Time Traveler. I love that name. If that's the name of your eBay store, that is like a really cool name for an eBay store. If you're doing like thrift store selling and things like that, really cool name. Question: using established eBay/Facebook account versus starting a brand new one. Scam verified wholesalers on inventory source. Opening new eBay account. eBay asking tons of odd personal questions. So I'm not 100% following you, to be honest. But in general, if you have an eBay account already, I would use that account to start selling on eBay. I wouldn't start a new one. Same thing with Facebook Marketplace. There's a few reasons for that. So if you're selling on eBay, I would use your existing eBay account because that eBay account will probably have higher limits than a new account will, meaning you can list and sell more items. There's also generally not, most people, until they actually start making a bunch of sales, don't need a second eBay account. So you really just use the one that you have. Also, with eBay accounts, it takes some time to kind of get it going and to kind of prime it so that eBay knows that you're a real person and they don't raise any red flags with that account. So an older account's not going to have that problem. Same thing with a Facebook account. Also, a huge benefit of Facebook is that when you're using your real Facebook account to sell, you'll probably have the shipping option right away. That means that you'll be able to ship items to your customers, which is what you want as a drop shipper. And new Facebook accounts usually don't have that. So just use your existing Facebook account. Can I still list products from several different categories, or is it best to stick to one? Says Ori versus the world. First, terrifying avatar. First, let's get that out of the way. Second, when you are drop shipping, there's two different types of drop shipping. So the way that most people think about drop shipping is they think about drop shipping on a marketplace, on a website like Shopify, where it's your own website that you're selling on. If you go that route, which is something I don't talk about much on this channel, then you do want to niche down into a very specific category, or probably even one single product that you're selling in that store. If you're drop shipping on a marketplace like eBay, like Facebook Marketplace, then you don't have to worry about that. You can sell a huge variety of items in different categories or niches, whatever you want to call it. And that's because it is a marketplace. So people, they'll be searching for the item they want. They might search for a water bottle. They'll see a bunch of listings come up for different water bottles. If they see yours and it's the one they want, they'll just purchase it. They're not going to look at your store and see, oh my gosh, this person's selling water bottles, and they're selling shoes, and they're selling sweatshirts, and they're selling tables. This person is all over the place. I'm not going to buy a water bottle from them. That's not how it works. They'll just buy it from you. Whereas if you're selling on something like Shopify, you really do have to niche down to one product because of the way you have to run ads and things like that. So it makes more sense to do it that way. Which is kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket, which is really why I like marketplaces for beginners, because it spreads out your risk. You're not putting everything you have into just one product that might fail. Tyler says, does location matter on Facebook Marketplace? If so, is there any strategies you can use to generate more sales? I found that it really doesn't. I used to believe that it could matter, which I know is like a very vague statement, but I kind of thought like it might matter to listen to like a better city, but overall, I just haven't seen that to be true. So I don't think it matters really what you put as your location, because again, you're just going to put in there, hey, I'm going to be shipping this item. So it's going to be available to people all across the United States to be able to purchase from you. Yeah, I think you could do print on demand on eBay. It's probably, I don't know if it's easier on eBay or Etsy. It depends on however you're fulfilling it, whatever service you're using to do it. I think it's really popular on Etsy, so I'd imagine that's kind of like where most people do it. Yeah, it's kind of a pain to switch from a regular eBay account to a business one, so I wouldn't worry about it. Just keep going. Just don't worry about it, because it can be a huge pain to make that switch. Number 9 on the like. We're almost there. Oh, this was the other thing. So Joshua, thanks for asking this question. When I was talking before about buying an old eBay account, one of the reasons you shouldn't do it is because it's just not going to work. The eBay account is tied to a person or a business. And if you buy an eBay account, now suddenly you're not the same person. So eBay, Facebook as well, they'll ask you for your social security number. And so if you are trying to set up a stealth account like Joshua's doing, or you're buying an old eBay account, it's not going to work because you don't have that social security number, because that's not you who set up the account. So that's one of the problems with this. Why you should just set up your own accounts. So if Home Depot ships something without providing a tracking numbers, and in this case, they say Home Depot said they delivered it themselves, so there's no tracking. That isn't shipping, that's delivery by Home Depot. So if you go on the Home Depot website, it will say, hey, you can get this shipped, or we can deliver it. And usually they charge a fee to deliver it, but not always, but usually a fee to deliver it. And when that happens, they actually put it on a truck, and they pull it off the shelf at a Home Depot store close to the customer, put it on a truck, and then someone from the truck delivers it. You don't want that option. If that is the only option available, the item is effectively out of stock. Don't choose that option, okay? You want to always choose the shipping option. Best in your course for beginners, eBay or Amazon. If you're a beginner, I would go for eBay dropshipping. I don't actually offer the Amazon course right now. You can't join the Amazon dropshipping course. And that's because right now, I haven't found a good way for it to work with beginners. That might change in the future. But for beginners, I think Amazon dropshipping is just too hard. Almost impossible, I would say. I hate to be that dramatic about it, but that's kind of the truth. A lot of people who are new will get suspended on Amazon for dropshipping. So it works, but it's really hard. And that's why I would stick with like eBay or Facebook Marketplace to start. Mustafa says, is it okay if I use the trial in AutoDS and when it reaches the end, I end the trial and then repeat the process? So AutoDS is the software, again, that we use to automate our dropshipping store. And if you use my link in the description, you can sign up for a trial for $1. I think it gives you like a couple of weeks, maybe a month. So Mustafa wants to use it for a month and then sign up for another trial, use it for a month and sign up for another trial. There's a lot of problems with that. One is like that's not a good way to run your business, because you just every month you have to spend probably several days transitioning all your products over. There'll be huge downtimes where your products aren't getting monitored. Actually, I don't even know if it's fully possible to do it, because you would have to export your items and upload them to a new AutoDS account. I don't even think you can actually do that. Plus, it's like, if you're not willing to spend the $15 or so every month to have a dropshipping software up and running, then like, what kind of business are you running, right? You have to be able to invest. You have to be willing to invest something into your business. Jeremiah says, do you know if AutoDS would add specialty suppliers for individual sellers? So Jeremiah's currently using SKUGrid only because they have access to my wholesale supplier. So I think what Jeremiah means here is that when you are using these different softwares, like AutoDS, one of their competitors is SKUGrid. Each of them only works with certain suppliers, meaning with AutoDS, you can drop ship from Amazon onto eBay, from Walmart onto eBay, from AliExpress onto eBay, from CJ Dropshipping onto eBay. There's probably like 25 of them or so. SKUGrid has different ones. Some of them overlap. They have more, I think, or they definitely have more SKUGrid. So they work with different suppliers. Jeremiah wants to know if AutoDS will add a supplier specifically for him. I don't think they do that. They don't do that, Jeremiah. But what you can do is you can reach out to AutoDS and say like, hey, I've been working with this supplier. Can you add them? And they'll probably say no. But if enough people ask for that supplier as well, then they will add it. So that is what I recommend that you do. Otherwise, you go the route you've been doing, which is where you're using the two different software. AutoDS is adding some wholesale suppliers. So that is becoming available. If you go right on their homepage after you log in, you should start to see some of those. But again, if you want a specific one, you would have to reach out to them about that. Not really, besides a bit on Amazon. My Android app. What do you mean, Michelle? I don't have an Android app. Not that I don't know anything about an Android app. Okay. David Torres says, with a new chatbot with Google, Bing, and Microsoft coming out soon, do you foresee issues with dropshipping when they can find products very fast and the cheapest price? No, I don't, David. For the exact reasons I talked about before, there's already ways to find items pretty cheap, pretty fast. Just use Google. You search for something in Google, and it will pull up results like right there in Google Shopping, showing you what's the cheapest one. In the search results, you can go through them and it will show you what the cheapest items are. That's available right now, and yet many customers do not use it. Why? Again, it comes down to convenience, their impulse purchasing, or they just like the website they purchase on and they don't want to shop around or look anywhere else or buy from anywhere else. So I don't think it's really going to change. It's just going to change the way that the people that do shop around shop around. Darby says, what is the best way for your buyer? What is the best way for your buyer to pay? I heard Stripe is good. Is there a better payment option? So when you're drop shipping on a marketplace, like what we do, drop shipping on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, you're just going to use whatever option the marketplace gives you. So if you're selling on eBay, the sale is going to happen through eBay. They just pay eBay. eBay has different options for credit card. I think you can still pay with PayPal. You can pay with Apple, Google, all these different options, pay later, all those different things. Doesn't matter how the customer pays. You as the seller will still get your money the same way, which is that eBay will transfer money to your bank account. That's it. It's not like if the customer pays with PayPal, they'll send it through PayPal. And if they purchase with Stripe, they'll send it to, go through your credit card processing. No, they pay on eBay and then eBay transfers money to your bank account and that's it. So just use whatever options they give you. Same thing with Facebook Marketplace. Psychic Palm says, another question. I was thinking to make more than one eBay account and to use each for a specific type of item. I wouldn't do that. Not necessary. Especially as a beginner, start one eBay account. Just concentrate on that. You don't need to have each eBay account be a different category of items or a different niche. That's not necessary for marketplaces at all. So just stick with one eBay account and sell both those categories into it. All right, man. I appreciate you letting me know. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for you guys. All right. Dead Wrong Rick says, I'm in eBay jail. I had 3 cases closed without seller resolution. Out of 600 orders, do I switch to my existing backup account? How long to get back to above average and top rated? Oh, man. So what Dead Wrong Rick is talking about is defects on your account. So there are things you have to do in eBay to keep your account in good standing. These are things like uploading tracking numbers, not canceling orders and putting the reason as being out of stock. You also don't want to have any return cases that are opened that you don't respond to. And you don't want any cases to be opened where the customer says the item was not as described. The item not as described cases. And if one of those is opened, then you have to answer that case. And if you don't, then that's a defect against you. So these are all different defects you could have on your account. And if you get too many of them, your account can fall below standard. You don't want that to happen. If your account falls below standard, then you can get penalized for it. And it's kind of a pain to get out of it. It's pretty easy to avoid. I mean, I hate to say that because it happened to you, but you just got to respond to those cases. Anytime a return case or an item not as described case comes up, respond to it. Resolve it. Don't let it get to the point where the customer has to reach out to eBay and eBay then has to close the case. So as long as you're doing that, you should stay above standard. If it happens to you like it did for Rick here, then you just got to sell more items, because the more items you sell, the smaller the percentage of defects will become, and you'll be able to climb out of that. It is tough, but it is worth it just to keep using that account. All right. I don't have a Dropshipping Titans app for my iPhone. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. All right. So unfortunately, guys, that is it for this week. I know there's a bunch more questions, but I do gotta go. I have something immediately after this. So I do appreciate you all coming out and asking such great questions. And I'll see you next week for the next live Q&A. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.